Alright pilots and aviation enthusiasts, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a critical annunciator light that can really get your heart rate up, especially if you're flying at night or in IFR conditions. We're talking about the AltaFill warning, which signals a failure of your backup alternator. So, you're cruising along, and suddenly, that little light pops on. What does it mean? Simply put, your secondary electrical power source, the backup alternator, has stopped producing voltage. Your primary alternator, Alt1, is now carrying the entire electrical load of the aircraft by itself. During a beautiful VFR day, this might not seem like a huge deal. You still have power, right? But the situation changes dramatically when you're relying on your instruments in the clouds or using your landing lights at night. If your primary alternator were to fail next, you'd be in a much more serious situation, likely relying on just the main battery, which has a very limited lifespan. This is why a backup alternator failure isn't something to ignore. It significantly reduces your electrical redundancy and increases the risk of your flight. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of troubleshooting this on the ground. The first step in any electrical diagnosis is to start with the simple stuff. Grab your multimeter and your aircraft's wiring diagram. The schematic is your best friend here. Begin by checking the ALT2 field circuit breaker as it pops. If so, you can try resetting it once. If it pops again immediately, you likely have a short circuit somewhere in the field wiring. Don't keep pushing it. If the breaker's fine, the next step is to inspect the physical connections. Electrical problems often come down to a bad connection. Check the wiring leading to and from the backup alternator. Look for any signs of chafing, cracking, or heat damage on the insulation. Pay close attention to the terminals. Are they clean and tight? A loose or corroded ground connection is a very common culprit for alternator issues. The alternator needs a solid ground to the engine block to complete the circuit. A little bit of corrosion or a slightly loose bolt can be enough to interrupt the connection and cause a failure. Wiggle the connectors to see if they are secure. Next up, we check the fuses or fusible links in the system. Your aircraft maintenance manual will show you where the alternator's output fuse is located. This fuse is designed to protect the system from overcurrent situations. Pull it out and visually inspect it. Better yet, use your multimeter's continuity function to test it. Sometimes a fuse can look fine, but be internally broken. If the fuse is blown, you need to ask why. It could be a random failure, but it often points to an underlying problem, like a short in the output wire or a fault within the alternator's voltage regulator. If the wiring breaker and fuses all check out, it's time to test the alternator itself. With the engine running at the appropriate RPM, you can carefully check the voltage output directly at the alternator's bleed terminal. Be extremely careful when working around a running engine and propeller. The output should be around 14 volts for a 12-volt system, or 28 volts for a 24-volt system. If you're getting zero or very low voltage right at the source, and you've confirmed the field is getting voltage and the ground is good, then it's highly probable that the alternator itself has failed internally. At this point, the most practical solution is to replace the unit. While some alternators can be rebuilt, for many general aviation applications, replacement is the standard and most reliable repair. Remember, a backup alternator is a critical piece of safety equipment. Don't defer this maintenance. A functioning backup system gives you the peace of mind and the redundancies you need to handle a primary failure and get on the ground safely. Flying wheat and AltaFill light is an unnecessary risk. Thanks for watching, everyone. We hope this guide helps you diagnose that pesky alternator issue. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe for more aviation maintenance tips. Fly safe, and we'll see you in the next one.